Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Jeff-Chandler, Wade Crosby with Frontier Adventure from Frontier Town, October 17th, 1952. A damsel in distress, Marie Hoxie, in this episode.
Frontier Town, the saga of the Roaring West. Frontier Town. El Paso, Cheyenne, Powder River, Tombstone. Frontier Town. Here is the adventurous story of the early West, the tamed and the untamed. From the Pecos to Powder River, Dodge City to Poker Flat. These are the towns they fought to live in and lived to fight for. Teeming crucibles of pioneer freedom. Frontier Town!
You folks ever hear of a town called Dos Rios? Like as not, you haven't, but being that I'm the town's lawyer, I'd like to tell you about Dos Rios. A sprawling, lusty, and raw-boned frontier town. All kinds of folks here. Although some of them aren't all bad, there are some of them who aren't all good. Take my last case. Cherokee O'Bannon, ex-medicine man and now owner of the town livery stable, was with me, just jogging along the west bank of El Toro Creek, flapping his jaws like he most always does.
Listen to me, my Junior Blackstone. In court, you're dull and unromantic. But outside of a courtroom, with your back humped for trouble and your fists flying, then, my boy, there isn't a woman of the opposite sex who doesn't sigh her heart out to be crushed in those two manly arms.
Doggone you, Cherokee. Don't let me hear you saying anything that even sounds like that where Libby Fillmore can hear you.
Oh, of course not, Chad. I'm as close-mouthed as a sphinx. Famous statue, you know.
Good enough.
But if Libby has agreed to become Mrs. Remington, would you kindly explain just why you're riding along with your roving eye riveted on that bit of feminine fluff and pulchritude, driving that one-horse shay on the other side of the creek?
Well, so you noticed her too, huh? And at your age. You know, you're really a good advertisement for your Cherokee Indian rattlesnake oil.
Certainly. It's guaranteed to build red blood.
Well, the young lady yonder has nothing to do with... Hey.
Plato's platitudes, Chad. Someone's shooting at that girl.
And those shots have spooked the girl's horse. He's running away.
My goodness. That damsel's not merely in distress, Chad. She's in trouble. Come on!
Cherokee, I'll take care of the damsel. You light it out after that sneaking drag gulcher. Now go on. Pound up that dust. I'm taking out after that runaway rig.
Please slow down.
Hey, watch out. You're heading that buggy straight for the creek.
What? Oh, there. What did you say?
Don't try and jump. I'll get alongside and grab the bridle.
Hurry, he'll drown me.
Hey, slow. Easy there. Stand by.
Oh, my goodness, this is awful. I don't know what I should have done if you hadn't come along.
You'd probably gone swimming, I guess. Huh, you any idea, miss, who fired those shots at you?
None. None at all.
You have anything with you that a road agent might want? I mean, money or valuables, anything like that?
No, but you sound as if you might be a marshal or sheriff or something with all those questions.
Hey, you're pretty close. I'm a lawyer. Dos Rios' only lawyer.
Lawyer? Then you must be the man I was driving over to see. You're Chad Remington.
I guess there's nothing to say but guilty as charged, Your Honor. Chad Remington at your service.
Mr. Remington, I'm Marie Hoxie. Miss Marie Hoxie.
Mm-hmm.
When can I see you?
Well, it seems to me you're seeing me right now. Although I don't usually conduct my law business standing in a creek next to a rig with 3 bullet holes through the dashboard.
And never having talked to a lawyer before, I really wouldn't know. But if you wouldn't mind lifting me out of here, carrying me back to the bank.
Oh, really? Miss Hoxie, ease up a little, will you? Your arms are choking me. Hey, let go of my neck.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks. Look, I'll tell you what, I sent Cherokee up in those rocks to
Cherokee?
see... Yeah, Cherokee O'Bannon. He owns a livery stable in town. If you don't mind, you can take his horse, and he can patch his carriage together and bring it back to his stable.
Why, surely. Anything you say.
Oh, good. Since you're soaked from the splashing you've had when we get back to Dos Rios, you better get a hotel room and change your clothes.
You're the most thoughtful man.
Thanks, Miss Hoxie.
Are lawyers all so formal? My friends call me Marie, Chad.
Well, what would you have done? I lifted Marie out of that battered rig and carried her back up to the road. Whatever scent she was wearing smelled like... Well, I guess it had a French name and cost $25 an ounce. Effective. Very effective. With Marie wet and the air cold, I didn't do much talking on the way to Dos Rios. She took a room in the hotel and said she'd meet me at my office within an hour. That hour gave me a chance to do a little thinking.
Great Jupiter's ghosts and sundry sepulchres, Chad. If you refuse help, Marie Hoxie, you're just cutting off your nose to spite her face. Her pretty little face.
I don't know, Cherokee. Something about this sounds a little fishy. Did you notice the dash of that buggy, the holes the slugs made?
Oh, I can't say that I did, my bucolic barrister. Why?
Well, the splinters are all outside.
Outside? My boy, why waste time looking at the outside of a splinter when you can be regaling your optics on the outside of Miss Hoxie? What grace, what charm, what curves, what curves.
And besides, those holes look mighty small.
Those aren't holes, Chad. Those things are called pores.
Look, you old reprobate. I'm talking about the dashboard of that buggy, and you're talking about something entirely different.
Indeed I am. Indeed I am.
And something else. It's almost 2 hours since she said she'd be here in 1 hour. Well, no, sir, Cherokee. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk down to that hotel and tell Marie Hoxie I'm not interested in her or her case. Oh, believe me, Miss Marie, I'm not at all put out about you being a little late. I just came down to the hotel to see if there was anything I could do to help you.
There's a lot you can do to help. You're so tall and so strong-looking that... Well, here. Sit down.
Yeah,
No. Over here. Because what I have to tell you is in complete confidence, and I don't want anybody outside to hear it.
Outside?
You saw that man shooting at me today, didn't you?
Well, I did hear the shots.
Chad, believe me, I won't be safe until I get back the map to the Lost Continent mine.
Map to the... Well, now, look, Marie, if I'm going to be of any help to you at all, you better start from the beginning.
You will forgive me, but I just seem to be all at loose ends. Well, my father, Dan Hoxie's a mining engineer.
I see.
After 3 years of looking, he finally relocated the Lost Continent mine. Mapped it. Went back to Leadville where I was waiting for him.
Well, how did he lose the map?
It was stolen. And we know who stole it.
If you know who stole the map, why did you come here to Dos Rios to see me?
We had the man arrested and he's in jail now, but we never did find the map.
And you want me to go back to Leadville and play detective?
Oh, no, Chad, of course not. But the man who stole it has a brother living here in Dos Rios, and we're as sure can be that he sent that map down here to him.
Who's this brother?
From what we heard, he's a professional gambler, name of Folsom.
Pharaoh Jack?
Why do you look surprised? Don't you believe me?
Marie, I hate to disappoint you, but as much as I sympathize with your problem, yours is scarcely a case for a Cowtown lawyer. I'm sorry.
Chad, don't go yet.
Yeah?
Don't you see? Don't you understand? There's no one I can turn to.
You're making it a little difficult.
Chad, please. Please don't walk out on me now. You've got to help me. You can have everything and anything you want.
You better sit down.
Yeah, I suppose I had.
Do you have any ideas how I can get that paper for you?
It's worth $5,000 to us, if you do.
Marie, I've got to admit I can't do any thinking at all that close to your perfume, so you take off that negative, whatever you call it, and put on a dress, and by the time you're through, I'll be back here with my answer.
Chad.
No, I'll be seeing you, Marie. Later. As I asked before, what would you have done? I headed for the street where Cherokee was waiting anxiously to get that perfume out of my head, or blood, some fresh air into my lungs. We were walking along just leaving the hotel, and Cherokee was voicing his disgust with me loud and volubly.
I'm starting to believe that you're a fair prospect for the booby hatch. If you consider turning her down, $5,000 in that. That radiant...
Hey,
Chad, that shot just missed me.
it didn't miss me.
Huh? I don't notice any punctures in your epidermis.
No, I mean that one little shot just made me decide to try and locate the map of the lost continent mine.
Well, I never believed in looking a gift horse in the teeth. But would you mind explaining to me why you've undergone this change of mind? Or could it be change of heart?
That little lead slug convinced me that there's more to this than is exposed to the eye. And now, if you look who just came out of the hotel, you'll have the rest of your answer.
Out of the... Well, that's Pharaoh Jack, the gambler. Say, isn't he the one you said, Marie?
He's the one, all right. And believe me, Mr. O'Bannon, we're finding that map if we have to tear Dos Rios apart plank by plank and Dobie brick by Dobie brick.
We'll return to the exciting second act of our frontier town adventure in just about 1 minute.
October 17th, 1952, Frontier Town on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining MediShare right now. MediShare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. MediShare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Frontier Town, October 17th, 1952.
And now, Frontier Town.
Well, with that shot from the general direction of the hotel going past my ear a little too close for comfort, and then seeing Pharaoh Jack Folsom leaving the hotel, I decided the better part of valor would be to get off the street before the sheriff and a crowd collected. So I went back to the hotel, leaving Cherokee to wait for me down the corridor a few feet. Once again, I knocked on the lovely Marie's door.
Oh, it's you.
Why, were you expecting someone else? I thought you were a stranger in Dos Rios, Marie.
I am. It's just that I didn't expect you back this soon.
May I come in?
Certainly.
Young lady, I've decided to take your case.
Oh, that's wonderful, Chad. Wonderful.
Well, $5,000 is a lot of money, so I also decided I'd take part of that. Now.
No?
Well, taking you at your own word, you said anything and everything. I'm asking for some money, down.
Well, you didn't expect me to have the $5,000 with me.
I'll take what I can get.
Oh. Well, if that's the way it is, that's the way it'll have to be, I suppose.
And you suppose correctly.
Well, if the money's all you're interested in.
The way this case may turn out, I need to put a little aside to assure myself the proper funeral. Now, you better go open that purse of yours, Marie, before I change my mind again. Although Miss Hoxie's pocketbook was fat and bulging, she only managed to produce $100. But while the bag was open, I did manage to peek inside, and what I saw in there satisfied me that this was my kind of case. As soon as I left Marie's room, I beckoned to Cherokee, and we took advantage of being in the hotel by easing ourselves into Folsom's room. I don't mind saying that I was more than a bit surprised when, tucked inside one of his frilly shirts, I found the map to the Lost Continent mine. Careless of him, wasn't it? But then I guess gamblers always do take chances. Then, instead of turning the map over to my client and demanding the rest of the fee, I grabbed Cherokee and hurried back to my office.
Mr. Remington, I am by nature a very patient man. But with that gorgeous creature waiting to hand you the best part of $5,000, why in the name of Gilhooly's goats don't you give her the map and collect the long, green, folding wherewithal?
I don't know yet, exactly. All I know for sure is that in the bottom of her little pocketbook, I spotted a .25 caliber handgun.
25 caliber?
25 caliber, a little gun. A gun which shoots small slugs and make little holes. Holes that I think will match those in the dashboard of the buggy she was driving.
You mean to stand there with your mouth hanging out trying to say that she shot it herself?
I'm just meaning to say that for the time being, I'm going to make what seems to be an exact copy of this map and put it back where we found the original one. Before sneaking back upstairs to Folsom's room, I left Cherokee downstairs in the dinky little lobby under strict orders to stall Folsom should he return by every legal means. And then, just as I had the altered copy of the map safely stowed away in Folsom's shirt, I heard a commotion starting down in the lobby. I closed Folsom's door and raced down the steps 2 at a time.
Don't you forget it. O'Bannon, I've given you 3 to get your hands off of me. Do you understand?
But, Pharaoh, I'm positively guaranteeing the 2 bottles of my genuine Cherokee Indian rattlesnake oil will not only change your luck, but will absolutely positively...
3, all right, I warn you now.
Now, just a minute, Folsom. Why don't you pick on someone your own size and age?
You better keep out of this, Remington.
I should? Why?
Because if you don't, I'm going to knock your teeth back down your throat.
Oh, what was that again about wanting to perform a little dental work on me?
You heard me. I told you to keep out of this.
Well, I'm in it, and I'm staying in. Unless you think you can knock me out of it.
Why, you loud mouth.
Well, Pharaoh, you rattled my teeth, but that's all. What you meant was something more like this.
Chad, my boy, I'm as proud of you as a new head of hair. He won't wake up for a week.
Oh, won't I? We'll soon see about that.
Pharaoh, you're a glutton for punishment.
You think so?
Come on, Cherokee. Help me straighten up this lobby, and then we'll...
Chad, look out. He's got his gun.
Oh, you double... Just for that, Folsom, I'm taking your gun with me. If you ever want it again, you know where to find me, up at my office. If you'll only listen a minute, Cherokee, I'll explain as much as I can to you.
You mean if you're able to? Actually precipitating a fight. Right in a public hotel.
You used the right word when you said precipitate, because now I'm sure that Marie Hoxie knows I'm working on her case. Well, didn't you see her watching from up at the head of the stairs?
You mean you did that to impress her?
No. Oh, I did it in the hope that now she'll have to make her next move, which she just did.
Just did?
She just did. If you hadn't been so busy talking, you might have seen her go over into the Western Union office. And unless I miss my guess, Cherokee, we'll be having visitors. Some mighty interesting visitors before very long.
Chad, whether you like it or not, I've got to have a libation. Practically locked up in this office with you for 6 hours, just waiting, has taxed my nerves beyond the bounds of even...
Shh, quiet, Cherokee. Someone going up the stairs.
Someone coming? By the ever-living George, so there is.
Come in.
Dad, I do hope you don't mind my coming here this time of night.
My dear young lady, you not alone deprecate our perspicacity, but you do yourself a great injustice. Here, let me get you a chair.
You're right about Folsom having that map.
Oh, is that so?
I thought you'd be more surprised.
You've got the map I wanted.
I just told you that Folsom had it.
I'm telling you, I don't believe it.
You're smarter than I thought you were, Marie. You happen to notice the map you found in his room isn't complete?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what you were talking about when you said anything and everything, I think.
Perhaps you've done too much thinking, Mr. Remington.
Say now, please, don't leave so soon. Why, this barren little barrister's office hasn't smelled so good since it's opened. Livery stable, you know.
Oh, I'm not leaving. But fortunately, my father arrived in town, and perhaps he'd better talk to you. Father, come on in.
I was hoping we wouldn't have any trouble. But now, you gentlemen had better sit down.
Just arrived in town, Mr. Hoxie?
Never mind. You got that lost continent map, and we want it.
I rather expected you after I saw your beautiful daughter slip into the Western Union office. If you happen to think it's strange that a lawyer should have his office over a livery stable, that's the reason. Wonderful view of the entire street.
If you're a smart lawyer, Remington, you'll dig up the map. Quick.
So many people seem to want this map. It should be worth a great deal more than $5,000.
Oh, so that's your play, huh? Think you're going to hold us up and gouge a bankroll out of us?
Well, since I didn't take the other things Marie offered me, it seems I'm entitled to a higher fee. After all, this was riskier than I thought. Someone shot at me. Didn't you, Marie?
October 17th, 1952, Frontier Town on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion next. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Frontier Town, October 17th, 1952.
Chad, you mean to sit there and say you think that
Shut
beautiful...
up, flannel mouth. Remington, I'm not planning on being here in town very long. Maybe 2 more minutes. You got 1 to hand over that map.
Oh, it's too bad you're leaving so soon, but I can't say I blame you. If your partner, Pharaoh Jack Folsom, happens to see you in Dos Rios, there's apt to be a little shooting affair.
Maybe you are smart. Folsom was my partner, but that map belongs to me.
To me? Not to us? You and your enchanting daughter? You're pretty smart yourself, Hoxie, if that is your name. Hiring Marie to pose as your daughter and come down here to get that map because Folsom had never seen her.
She's not his daughter? Why, of all the cheap chicanery?
All right, now look. Now that you know that I know where you stand, and since this is just a business deal, why don't you let your money do the talking for you?
Any talk from now on, this 45's gonna do.
Oh, too bad Marie didn't have a 45.
What do you...
That little handgun you let her carry gave me my first tip. Right from the time I saw those holes she shot through the dashboard just to make me think she was in trouble. And then when she threw that shot at me from the hotel...
Remington, I mean it. I'm gonna kill you to get back that map.
You see, Marie? He'll kill me just to double-cross Jack Folsom, and then I wouldn't be surprised if he killed you.
Are you turning over that map?
I guess I'll have to. Won't I, Pharaoh?
Drop that gun and Remington.
Where did you...
And drop it.
You folks, kind folks, don't mind. This office is getting so crowded I think I'll leave.
You take 1 more step, Cherokee, and you will leave. Later, honey. Shut up.
That's what I said. I'm staying.
You know, Pharaoh, I just had a hunch if this double-dealing vulture you're in partners with ever arrived in Dos Rios, you'd pick up his scent faster than a bird dog.
Never mind him. I want my map back.
Oh, this is getting more confusing than ever. It's a matter of pure and simple justice. I don't know who to give the map to now.
Well, maybe this will make your mind up for you. Here, I've got the money I promised you in my bag.
Nobody's buying that map. Do you understand me?
Why not? Chad can use this money just as well as... All right, Folsom, drop that gun.
Why, the little filly's turned into a ferocious firebrand.
Oh, doggone it, Marie. Don't you know that little pop gun's going to get you into trouble sooner or later?
Folsom, drop that gun.
Why, sure. I guess I know when I'm...
You dirty double-crosser, let go of my wrist.
Chad, Hoxie's gun, it's on your desk.
That's enough, Folsom. I'm giving you a better chance than you gave her. I didn't have to miss. Cherokee, get his gun and cover them both.
My pleasure, Chad. Here, give me that.
Oh, Marie, don't you know you should always take your attorney's advice?
What?
Told you that gun was going to get you into trouble.
Chad, it hurts.
Yeah, I'm going to take you to the doctor's now. Here, let me lift you up.
You remember what I told you?
What was that?
This is doing the hard way. I knew I'd end up with you holding me in your arms.
What's wrong with you today, Cherokee? The air's wonderful, the birds are singing, the fish are all jumping in El Toro Creek, and you just haven't opened your mouth for a half hour.
My cold-blooded counselor, you grieve me and fill me with bitter disappointment.
How's that again?
Here we are, perched on the backs of these high-priced equines, riding along El Toro Creek Road in the very same place where just a week ago your roving eye spotted Marie Hoxie.
Uh-huh.
You sat there supinely in the saddle, making casual comments about the climate and the flora and the fauna. Have you no heart? No red blood in your veins? Never mind, I'll tell you. What you probably need is a double dose of Dr. O'Bannon's famous Cherokee Indian rattlesnake oil.
At least you don't need it. The memory of Miss Hoxie's perfume seems to act on you like a tonic.
That reminds me, Chad. Did you ever find out if Pharaoh Jack Folsom ever did have a brother in prison over in Leadville?
Well, Judge Fillmore found out for me. He hadn't even got a brother. Dan Peacock, alias Dan Hoxie, gave that lost continent map to Pharaoh Jack after he'd won it in a stud game in lieu of cash.
You mean he didn't realize how valuable it was, the fool?
Oh, he didn't even know it was a lost continent mine until later. And when he found out, he tried to get it back from Pharaoh and couldn't. Then's when he decided to double-cross him and hire Marie to pose as his daughter.
What do you think's going to happen to the curvaceous charmer?
Oh, Marie? Well, from what the judge tells me, whenever they release her from the hospital, she's due for about 5 years at the state's expense.
5 years? Well, by that time, she will have reached the full bloom of beautiful maturity.
No doubt. And if you lay off the libations of that rattlesnake oil, you may still be around to greet her, you old fake.
Well, my boy, even in me, hope springs eternal.
Frontier Town, starring Tex Chandler, is a Bruce Ells production. Supervision by Joel Murcott. Story and direction by Paul Franklin. Music written and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again, this time 1 week from today, for another fine action-adventure story with your favorite young Western star, Tex Chandler.
October 17th, 1952, Frontier Town, starring Jeff Chandler and Wade Crosby on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Captain Midnight, one of the shows you helped us get through Buy Me a Coffee. This one was originally broadcast October 17th, 1939.
The Scully Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, at the same time, by the Scully Oil Company, Scully Jobbers and Dealers. The Scully Oil Company, you know, was the originator of tailor-made gasoline. But now, here's a special tip for the fellas and girls who have not already joined Captain Midnight's new 1940 Flight Patrol. You'd better hurry up and join at once, because there's a big adventure ahead. There's a real job ahead of us, helping Chuck Ramsey and Patsy Donovan and our good friend Captain Midnight himself in a thrilling mystery. And every Flight Patrol member can take part in it when the time comes. But the thing to do now is to get started, because we're going to have not only barrels of fun, but loads of free gifts and prizes, too, for every member of Captain Midnight's new 1940 Flight Patrol. Now, here's what you get as soon as you join. First, you get your official Junior Pilot's application card. And besides that, a burnished bronze medal of membership that's different from any club pin or button you ever saw. On the front, just like on a real Medal of Honor, are the faces of Captain Midnight and Chuck and Patsy, and also the mysterious secret password that only Flight Patrol members themselves can tell the meaning of. But that's not all. On this medal is a 3-blade airplane propeller that will spin like a top. On the other side is the face of a mystic midnight clock. You look to see where the hands of the clock are pointing when they stop spinning. It helps you decide things like who goes to the store for Mother or who's captain of the team. Why, say you'll use the spinning medal 100 different ways. But most important, this medal proves you're a member of the new 1940 Flight Patrol. You see, only members can take part in the big adventure ahead and get all the other free gifts that are coming. So you'll want to join and get your medal of membership right away. But now, and here's the best part of all, it doesn't cost you a single penny. No box tops or seals or anything. Here's all you do. Just have Mother or Dad drive you over to your Skelly service station and tell your Skelly man you want to join the new 1940 Flight Patrol. He'll give you your official application card right away, and he'll send right into Skelly headquarters for your free medal of membership with the 3-blade spinning propeller and the mysterious secret password. But hurry now, won't you? See your friendly Skelly man and join the new 1940 Flight Patrol tonight. And now to Captain Midnight. Fortune, good and bad, is helping and hurting Captain Midnight and his friends. In the upper end of the valley, on the outskirts of the vast Pareda estate, now controlled illegally by Ivan Shark, Captain Midnight and Chuck Ramsey rescued a hard-pressed fugitive from his pursuers, who, after he was revived, whispered that his name is Juan Pareda. Our scene today is again with Pareda, shortly after he regained consciousness. Chuck is speaking.
You're Juan Pareda?
Yes, senor. I am Juan Pareda.
Juan Pareda. I see it, Chuck. I see the whole thing now.
You are Major Barry Steele?
Red, he must know Major Steele.
No, he doesn't, Chuck, or he wouldn't ask. You were expecting Major Steele?
No, senor. I did not hope for such good luck.
But you knew his name.
I do not understand.
Well, do you know of him?
Si, senor. Major Steele. He was good friend of my wife, Senora Pareda.
That's what Major Steele told us.
But, Senor Pareda, why did you mention Major Steele's name?
My daughter, Dolores. She wanted to write letters to Major Steele. But then, I do not see her anymore.
Well, what happened to her?
I do not know, senor. I'm very much afraid I will never see her again.
Gosh, Red, that's terrible.
We've got to get his story, Chuck, but I'm afraid he's too weak to tell it.
What do you say, senor?
Oh, listen, Senor Pareda. My friend and I wish to help you.
That is good, senor. I need help very much.
I'm afraid he's going to faint, Red. He doesn't look very well.
Yes,
I feel very sick, senor. My lips, they are so dry. Please, a little more water.
Yes, quick, Chuck. Give him some more water. Tip your helmet up there so we can drink. Hurry.
There you are, senor.
That's it.
Ah, that is so good.
Gee, Red, that's helping a lot.
Yes, you bet it is. Some more water, senor?
Please, a little bit more.
There you are.
Is that enough?
That is plenty.
Oh, wait. Don't throw that water away, Chuck. I'm going to wring my handkerchief out of it and wipe his face.
Okay, Red, here you are.
That's it. Hold it there. Okay, Chuck. You can throw the rest away now.
Right.
Ah, senor. Now I feel better.
Gee, he's coming along swell.
Yes, you bet. Do you feel like sitting up?
Si, senor.
Let's move him back a little so he can rest against the trunk of the tree.
All right, that's the ticket. Here, get on this other side here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Easy now. There now.
There, thank you so much. I feel much better now.
Do you feel like talking, senor?
Si, senor. I will be myself very soon.
I couldn't help seeing your back, senor. You have been wounded.
You see my back? Then you can guess.
They look like the marks of a whip.
Si, senor. I have been whipped, just like you would whip some beast. But they have not broken me. They can never break the spirit of a Pareda.
I can see that, senor. But tell me why you were beaten.
It is a long story, senor. I do not know.
Oh, now, wait. We are friends of Major Barry Steele. We're here to help you. You mustn't be afraid to tell us your trouble.
Tell me, what do you call yourselves? What are your names?
My young friend here is Chuck Ramsey. As for me, my name doesn't matter.
But, senor, how shall I address you?
I am known as Captain Midnight.
El Capitan Midnight. The blackness of the night. What a strange name.
It is not one of my own choosing, senor.
The name, it does not matter. The man, he counts very much.
You will trust us, then?
Si, I will trust you. But I must warn you, we are all in danger. Enemies surround us.
Yes, we found that out all right. And let me remind you, Chuck, keep your eyes open.
I'm watching all around us, Red.
Good.
Your young friend, Chuck, he is very much on the alert.
Yes, senor. And Chuck has keen eyes. He'll see any enemies which may approach.
Good. Then I will begin. My name is Pareda, senor. And my family have lived in this valley for many years. Close to my hacienda, there's a small chapel and a graveyard. And on one stone, which is crumbling with age, you will see the numerals 1651.
Blazing beacons, the year 1651.
See, in that grave lie the bones of Francisco Pareda, who was a mighty general in the Imperial Army of Spain. This land was given him by the king.
An original Spanish land grant, huh?
That is right, senor. The Pareda family owns this valley and many others nearby.
It's a beautiful place, senor.
Nowhere in the world is there such a valley, senor. I love it as my family before has loved it.
Well, when did the present trouble start?
A month ago, senor. But I wish to explain something.
Yes?
When I was a young man, I studied in the university in Spain. And there, studying music, was a beautiful American girl. I married her, senor, and brought her back with me to the valley.
She was a very good friend of Major Barry Steele and his wife. Is that not so?
That is true, senor.
I see.
I did not have the pleasure of meeting Major Steele and his senora. To be truthful, I did not like to leave this valley. But my wife, she had the desire that our daughter should study in her mother's country. So I sent her to school in Washington.
And there she became well acquainted with Major and Mrs. Steele, huh?
Si, senor. She visited at their home many times.
Senora Pareda, she's not living now?
No, senor. 2 years ago, she died. She go on to the better world.
I am very sorry, senor.
Life is not the same now, senor. But then, we must all be brave. I still had my beautiful Dolores, but now she too is gone.
You mean she's dead?
I do not know. But if they have made her suffer as I have, I hope, senor, she is dead.
Well, who do you mean by they?
I am coming to that. About a month ago, we had visitors in this valley, a thing which is very rare.
Who were these visitors?
They were Americanos, senor, like yourselves, but they were different, very different. You are good and honorable, but they are fiends.
Well, just a minute. How did these visitors arrive?
They arrived from the air, senor, just as you. They had an airplane with a big cabin, and they come down and land, and they say they have the engine trouble.
Uh-oh. They pretended to have a forced landing.
See, that is the name they call it. So, since they say they are Americanos, I make them come into my hacienda. I treat them as the honored guests.
What were their names?
Their names, senor? I remember that very well. There was a father and his daughter. He says his name is Senor Douglas Chadwick, and she is the Senorita Chadwick.
Blazing beacons, Red. That was Ivan Shark and his daughter Fury.
Yes, Chuck, I'm sure of it.
When I see you fly the black plane, I am very much afraid. I do not think you will help me. But then, when you fire the gun at my enemies, my hope becomes very strong.
Well, you see, senor, this black plane is not the one we came in. Oh, but never mind. I'll explain that to you later.
Very good, senor. I will go ahead with my story.
Yes, please do.
I raised a very big herds of cattle, thousands upon thousands. This Senor Chadwick, he becomes very much interested in my cattle, and he likes this valley very much.
The dirty crook.
We always have some trouble, senor. There are bad men in these mountains, and they sometimes steal my cattle. So, Senor Chadwick, he tells me I should guard my cattle with airplanes.
So you bought some airplanes?
See, this Senor Chadwick, he says he has the connections. He can buy the airplanes for me, so I signed the contract with him. Also, this Senor Chadwick, he has the radio on his airplane. He sent the order for me.
Yeah, this is running true to form, Chuck. Sounds just like one of Ivan Shark's tricks.
And then, very soon, the airplanes arrive. There are very many pilots and very many mechanos. But these men are very bad, senor. I look at them and I know, and my heart becomes very troubled.
And you had good cause to be. Well, then what happened?
This Senor Chadwick, he's very clever. Some of my people talk, and he find out I have a fortune, besides the lands and cattle.
Well, what kind of a fortune? Well, that is, if I may ask.
I will tell you, senor, because I can trust you. This fortune is in precious stones of great richness.
Did Chadwick get hold of them?
No, senor. That is why you see the marks of the whip upon my back. He does not know, and he never will. But you are my friend. I will tell you.
No, please, Senor Pareda. Don't tell me. Keep it always to yourself.
Si, senor. Perhaps that is better after all.
Now, what did Chadwick do? He was your guest. Well, how did he...
That I will tell you. When I signed the contract with Senor Chadwick, I trust what he says. I do not read all the words carefully. But after the airplanes arrive, he comes to me and demands a big sum of money. 100 times bigger than I have agreed to. Then he shows me the contract. And I see I've been tricked.
Can you imagine that?
Then I lose my temper. I say, you talk of an Americano, you get out. You take your airplanes and you go. And do not come back again.
Yes, and then?
These men, they seize me. My daughter, Dolores, she disappeared. The Senor Chadwick, he tells me Dolores will be killed unless I write the letter he demands. So I'm beside myself. I do not know what to do. I write the letter. I ask for Dolores, but I do not see her. I'm taken away to the Black Cave. They ask me for my jewels, my fortunes. And when I do not reply, they whip me.
It seems incredible, Red. I just can't believe...
Just a second, Jack. Wait a minute. We've got to act now, and we've got to act quick. Now, listen, Senor Pareda. We must have some help. Are there any of your people who can help us?
Some of my best men have fled to the mountains, but I believe I can find them.
Oh, that's splendid. We must find them at once.
Unless, Senor, this Chadwick has found and killed them.
Oh, that fiend of a shark, I'll...
Listen, Red.
What? It's a plane, Jack. There it is. A black one. Flying directly this way. Quick. Get behind that machine gun in the rear cockpit and get ready for action.
Well, Senor Juan Pareda has told a pitiful story. The fiendish Ivan Shark is running true to form. But at the moment, Captain Midnight and his friends are in an extremely dangerous predicament. It looks as if they'll have enough to do to save themselves, let alone helping Senor Pareda. What will the resourceful Captain Midnight do? Tune in tomorrow to Captain Midnight. Now, don't forget to tune in again tomorrow, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight, brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Until tomorrow, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly Man, saying goodbye and happy landing.
The sounds of growing up. Captain Midnight, October 17th, 1939, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. If you're wondering what I talk about when I say buy me a coffee, if you go to our webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand and you can learn more about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also find places where you can download our shows via podcast. You can also find our social media links and you can contact me. But there's a link on there to buy me a coffee. Now, every penny we raise through Buy Me a Coffee goes to us expanding our classic radio collection and acquiring shows that are not easily obtained. Captain Midnight was not easily obtained. Casey Crime Photographer, not easily obtained. We are acquiring more shows thanks to you buying me a coffee. You don't have to. Just listen. Thank this station. Support their advertisers, their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be here with you. But the Buy Me a Coffee money is greatly appreciated because it helps us expand the library of different shows we can bring you. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.